Gavin's face twitched, the fake affection in his eyes replaced with panic. He pulled up his collar in a feeble attempt to hide the mark. His eyes burned red with fury. Kasia, what the hell do you mean by that? He snapped. I've been taking care of Julia to learn how to be a better father, for our future children, and now you want to throw away 10 years of marriage over something this petty? Are you insane? I didn't respond. I simply reached into my bag, pulled out the divorce papers I had prepared, and laid them calmly on the table in front of him. Sign them. We'll finalize it at the county clerk's office tomorrow morning. The entire room froze. My friends stared at me in shock. My family exchanged panicked glances. They couldn't believe it. We were the couple everyone envied. The perfect love story. The unshakable bond. But I wasn't playing along anymore. Gavin gaped at the documents, stunned I'd already come this far. Even my mother, usually silent, began to tremble. She rushed forward. Kasia, are you serious? My father grabbed the papers and scowled. 10 years, Kasia. You and Gavin were always so good together. What happened? Gavin's brothers joined in, all desperate to change my mind. Kasia, don't do this. It's just a misunderstanding. The neighbor's a single mom. Gavin was just being kind. He didn't want a baby yet because he supported your career. How can you not see how much he loves you? Their words pierced me like 1,000 needles, but I stayed silent. I picked up the divorce agreement again and pressed it back into Gavin's hands. This marriage is over. I can't do it anymore. Just then my father stormed forward. Before I could move, he slapped me so hard my head snapped to the side. You ungrateful girl, he shouted. How dare you divorce a man like Gavin? I should beat some sense into you. You think you can throw him away after all he's done for you? Do you have no shame? My cheek throbbed, my mouth filled with the metallic taste of blood. I didn't flinch. My mother clutched my arm, her voice shaking with desperation. Please talk it out, she begged. Don't make such a rash decision. You'll never find a better man. And if this is because you've fallen for someone else, don't expect my blessing. I slowly raised my head, my face stinging, my pride in pieces. Around me voices murmured and judged. And just like always, Gavin stepped in to play the hero. He held me gently, wiping the blood from my lip, shielding me like I was his most cherished treasure. To everyone watching, he looked like the perfect husband, but only we knew the truth. Only we knew the rot beneath the surface. Kasia, he murmured, voice tender but full of manipulation. Even if you've fallen for someone else, no one will ever love you like I do. We've been together since we were kids, married for 10 years. How could you throw all that away over something so petty? Gavin's voice rang out, thick with disbelief. I don't care about any other woman. As long as you're willing to come back, I won't hold anything against you. Just a few carefully chosen words, and suddenly the blame shifted. The air in the room turned hostile. All eyes fell on me, sharp and accusing. And then my father's fist connected with my shoulder. Hard. So that's it, he shouted. You're leaving him because you're having an affair. I raised a disgrace like you. Ungrateful girl. Stop this nonsense before you send your father to the hospital. My mother cried, gripping my arm. Go home. Be a decent wife. Stay with Gavin. Friends, family, they all tried to pull me back. Even Gavin, now in tears, fell to his knees and begged. But my heart had long gone cold. I shoved him away, my voice firm and steady. Let go. I don't love you anymore. He stared at me as if I'd stabbed him. What did you say? He whispered, his voice cracking. The entire room went silent. Gavin broke down sobbing, louder this time, desperate and messy. I turned to leave, but he scrambled up and grabbed me again, crushing me in his arms. Don't go, Kasia, please don't. It's all my fault. I'll change, I swear. Just give me another chance. Don't leave me. Then his older brother blocked my way. Kasia, are you out of your mind? He snapped. Apologize to Gavin. You've been together for over a decade. How can you be so heartless? From middle school to marriage, it took 8 years to build this life. Have you forgotten all of it? And what about the baby? You're really willing to let your child grow up without a father? The room exploded again as the news of my pregnancy hit them. My parents rushed to stop me, their faces pale. You're pregnant and still want a divorce? Where's your conscience? I wrestled free from their grip, my jaw clenched, my tone defiant. I'll raise the baby myself. We're already divorced. My mother recoiled like I'd slapped her. You've wanted a child for years, and now when you're finally pregnant, this is how you act. Her words struck something deep. Yes, I had wanted a child, desperately. From 20 to 30, I dreamed of a family, of hearing a child call me mom. But every time I brought it up, Gavin shut me down, or worse, pretended to try, only to sabotage things behind my back. We lost 2 pregnancies, both in accidents, and I finally understood. He never wanted a child with me. Now I just wanted out, for good. The noise must have drawn attention, because Sabrina Lowell, the single mother from next door, walked in holding her baby. She didn't say a word about the chaos around us. She went straight to Gavin and handed him the child. He took the baby automatically, gently, like it was his own. The way he looked at her daughter, it was a softness I had never seen in his eyes when he looked at me. My chest tightened. I staggered slightly, dizzy with pain. We had once had children twice, but they never made it. Sabrina turned to me politely. Kasia, I didn't mean to cause trouble. I heard everything just now. If it's awkward, I can find a new place today and take my daughter with me. I don't want to come between you two. Gavin frowned, glancing at her in panic. No, there's no need for that. I'm just helping you out. It's nothing serious. Then he turned to me, his voice laced with irritation and guilt. Kasia, stop projecting your anger onto other people. You just got out of the hospital. Can you stop overreacting? He cried bitterly, and everyone turned their rage toward me. My father's face was crimson with fury, his voice hoarse as he grabbed my wrist. Listen to me, Kasia. Stop this nonsense. End things with whoever you're seeing. Living a stable life with Gavin is more important than anything. You already have a child together. If you dare go through with this divorce, don't blame me for breaking your legs. But I stayed unmoved, my face cold and expressionless. This marriage will end, I said calmly. Then I turned and walked away. My father roared behind me, voice breaking. If you walk out that door, don't call me your father ever again. Gavin didn't chase after me. Instead, his voice rang out cold and sharp behind me. me, since you're so determined to leave, don't even think about taking a penny. I'll make sure you walk out with nothing. You've got someone else now, right? Since you've chosen betrayal, don't blame me for being ruthless. That very day, I filed for divorce and submitted the footage I had secretly taken at Sabrina's house. I thought I'd spend the night at a hotel and figure things out, but when I tried to pay, I realized all my bank accounts had been frozen. That's when it hit me. Every cent I'd earned over the years had gone to Gavin. I trusted him, kept nothing for myself. For years I'd worked endlessly thinking we were building a future together, a home, a family. I didn't know that I was the only one holding on. In the end, it had all been a lie. I had been alone from the beginning. I borrowed money from a friend just to check into a hotel. Later that night, I opened my phone. A video was already going viral. Someone had recorded the argument from the party, and now it was all over the internet. The comments section was a war zone, full of venom. She's divorcing her husband over a baby? What kind of monster is she? She's clearly cheating, and now she's making up stories to play the victim. Disgusting. Let's ruin her. Expose everything. Let her feel what it's like to be humiliated. Even the hotel staff began to look at me like I was filth. I turned on my laptop, and that's when the real pain began. There, stored in hidden folders and saved files, were hundreds of videos, each one gutting me more than the last. Late at night, after putting Sabrina's daughter, Julia, to sleep, Gavin would slip into her room. Again and again. I had discovered it all by accident. One evening, I noticed Gavin's phone was connected to a nearby surveillance feed. When he wasn't looking, I mirrored the connection to my own device. From then on, I watched it unfold every night. The way he looked at Sabrina, gentle, warm, loving, a look I'd never seen directed at me. To the outside world, Gavin was a model husband, soft-spoken, responsible, caring, but behind closed doors I knew better. After we married, he told me he didn't want children, and ordered me never to bring it up again. When I became pregnant by accident, I begged him to let me keep the baby. He forced an abortion without hesitation. That loss still haunts me, a grief I carry in silence. From that day on, he never touched me again. And now, he was raising another woman's child right in front of me. Attorney Lawrence, I said, steadying my voice as I called my lawyer, the court hearing is scheduled in 3 days. All the evidence has been submitted. The next morning my phone rang. It was my secretary, Miss Kasia. Several investors have pulled out. The backlash from the online video is serious. I headed straight to the office, but Gavin was already there, waiting outside the building. Kasia, don't go in, he said urgently. The reporters are everywhere. Just wait. Let me handle this. I didn't even look at him. I shoved him aside. He stumbled and fell to the ground, stunned. All eyes turned to us. People gasped. He stared up at me in disbelief, his voice cracking. Kasia, are you really this cruel? Can't you at least show me a little compassion? Sabrina rushed over and helped Gavin to his feet. The commotion instantly drew a crowd of reporters and furious netizens. Cameras flashed. Microphones shoved in my face. She's heartless, cold-blooded witch. How could anyone treat their husband like this? Don't blame her, Gavin said to the cameras, voice trembling, eyes glassy with false humility. It's my fault for not being a better husband. Don't blame her. Watching him play the victim made my stomach turn. I almost laughed from disgust. If you don't want a divorce, I said, my voice low and even, then don't blame me for suing. The mask fell off in an instant. In front of the flashing lights, Gavin's expression twisted with rage. Fine. You want to play dirty? Then don't blame me for kicking you out with nothing, he snapped. My child doesn't need a father like you, I shot back. Divorce it is. I'll see you in court. He thought I was still in the dark. He had no idea I knew everything. I didn't waste another word. I left, handled company affairs, and began preparing for the trial. The next day, the story exploded across the internet. Every platform, every comment section. I had become public enemy number one. They called me a cheater, said I'd forced abortions to fund my so-called lover, claimed I was mentally unstable since the accident, delusional and attention-seeking. Even my own parents turned their backs on me. You've gone too far, my father roared over the phone. From now on, I have no daughter. You filthy disgrace, my mother spat. I can't even bear to hear your name anymore. I said nothing. I let them say their piece. I didn't explain, didn't defend myself. I would wait. 3 days later, the courtroom was packed. Friends, family, curious strangers, even netizens who had traveled just to watch me fall. They all came to see a spectacle. Gavin leaned close and whispered with mock pity, are you really going through with this? For the sake of everything we had, I'll give you one last chance. Apologize. I'll pretend none of this ever happened. He smiled like a man convinced he'd already won. You've already lost, he murmured. The whole country saw what you did. Do you still even have the nerve to keep living? Sabrina sat beside him, smirking, satisfied. Even my parents, seated a few rows back, looked at me like I was a criminal awaiting sentence. But I stood tall, expression unreadable. I waited for the judge to begin. Gavin had spared no expense, bringing in one of the top lawyers from Boston. They came prepared with a script, painting me as a selfish, reckless woman. If all he did was help babysit the neighbor's child at night, the lawyer said smoothly, that doesn't constitute infidelity. In fact, based on the evidence presented, the petitioner, he looked straight at me, is the one who bears primary responsibility for the breakdown of the marriage. If no new evidence is submitted, this court will grant the divorce in favor of the defendant and find the petitioner at fault. The courtroom erupted. Cheers. Applause. Gavin and Sabrina embraced, visibly giddy with premature victory. People sneered and whispered behind me, she deserves it. She's finally getting what's coming. Shameless woman. I raised my hand. Your Honor, I said, my voice clear and steady. I have new evidence to submit. The judge nodded. Proceed. I present surveillance footage from Sabrina's home, I said, and a DNA paternity report, proving Gavin is the biological father of her daughter. A deafening silence fell over the courtroom. The room went still. The smirks vanished.